This nibble originally aired on RSBANDB Update, episode 847, The Mask of Senntisten. Enjoy. If we go all the way up next to Article 3 in a critic's review, we learn that Gas, the guild actors of Senntisten, is no more. Because the Praetorians themselves sought out these actors and did them in. And we'll learn more about the Praetorians in our next mystery.
Apparently there were seditious messages in their work. Clearly they weren't very good at embedding these seditious messages since no one saw them, but gotta trust the Praetorians, right?
Yeah. And that's another thing that goes back to that old question of empires, is that they're worried about those seditious messages being embedded because they're concerned that something to that effect could bring down the empire. And we're starting to see the cracks in that if you need to be worried about that, you can kind of start to kind of get to the question, is your empire really that strong?
It also means you got this as an excuse to get rid of anyone you so wish.
Yeah, anybody that doesn't do as you please. And, well, we all know that Sliske was involved in the with the Praetorians. So the next play in Part 4 was directed by the Prefectus Praetorio, who we otherwise know as Sliske. And in this play that was called Whispering King, Sliske put on a play where the actors wore masks that were designed to look human. And by the end of the play, the actors all wound up killing each other. Yeah. But yet
pleasant.
This play still got a 2-star review.
Well, it's better than one of the ones above, eh?
Yeah, and I guess if Sliske needed to direct the play, he did what he wanted to do, and hopefully the reviewer would give a good review, and we'll talk about what happened with that next. I just want to quote from Article 4 here before we move on at the end of it. Then it ends in a gory display of death and dismemberment. The actors turned their blades upon each other and in swift movements impaled one another with their weapons. Their deaths were the only believable pieces of acting in the entire play. All in all, a tremendous disappointment, one that I would strongly recommend avoiding.
I gotta say, it's worth talking about what Sliske is writing about here. Glacial plains and secret doors buried deep beneath the ice, wandering philosophers who would walk the world in silence, contemplating what it means to be truly forgotten. It makes jokes about being hollowed out and fed to ancient jaws that would grind us to dust and make us glad for it. Does any of this sound familiar?
He's talking about the Majra ritual, isn't he?
That's not... Maybe.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking along the lines of the Kindred Spirit lore books, where you've got Death at Sea, which is about Sliske doing some research into writing a play and finding the trail of breadcrumbs that leads to Zautak in the process.
Huh. Okay. So now I see why the Clan Quest Spoilers channel was talking about Zautak.
Yeah, grind us to dust and make us glad for it. That feels very much like the little refrains we've had of Zautak before. Yeah,
Sirion Tanis, before we jump into what truly happens at the end of Critics Review, would you guys like to write, I guess I should ask, would you rather be writing the review, or would you rather be one of these unfortunate actors?
Yeah. Probably going to go with reviewing.
and this just shows what the people of Senntisten were up against, and I don't know, part of me would like to be involved with that kind of culture. How about you, Sirion?
I'm good, thank you.
All right.
I like plays where nobody dies in the end. I think that's not dying is good.
Wow, that's a hot take.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I think Shane's just looking for a way to get to the feast and orgies or something.
Hey, no. But I mean, if you're involved in this, then you better be willing to take a 1-star review. But if you dare criticize Sliske himself, you'll have to do an amendment to your review, as was Article 5 of a critic's review, an amendment to the review on Whispering King, because the reviewer says he felt he was too harsh. And he calls it now a veritable work of art. Because he sees the true story now. Because to see the true story and the true artistry behind the play that he gave a 2 out of 5, you need to read between the lines. And the actors don't matter at the end of it, because they're just mere mouths for the authors. Or for the author. And at the end of it, the reviewer says, I imagine myself now within that play, walking those frozen fields and standing before those impossible gates. I dream of those last moments as the play concludes, and I dream of seeing what they see, of learning what they learn, of becoming. My mask arrives tomorrow. 5 stars.
He's got a new acting career lined up ahead of him, though a very lived one.
Mm-hmm.
This guy took the Sliske Kool-Aid because he knows what happens if he doesn't.
Mm-hmm. It seems almost insincere, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like writing it at knife point.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And, you know, I don't want to offend anybody by this, but I seem to remember a story from World War II, where Hitler commissioned some sort of art or something, and it didn't go exactly the way he wanted it to. And the artists involved in that met the same fate as this reviewer.
Oof.
So there's that huge empire, we're the best kind of thing, but on the inside, it's not all sunshine and roses coming through again.
People with too much power and very picky feelings about things.
Exactly. And there's just this one line in here that really stands out. The reviewer says, they lived as nobodies, but now their lives conclude in theatrical perfection.
That's all they're worth to the Empire, just a spectacle at the end of the play, hey?
Yep. And I think at this point the mask on the Zarosian Empire has come off entirely with this. And this leads us nicely into Secrets of the Inquisition, unless there's anything else on a critic's review. I think we covered most of that there. So
Feels like slaves.
yeah, that's a very,
I really get
very
that.
good way of describing it. So,
Mm-hmm.
All right,
I could see it like in Rome being, that class.
exactly.
The
Exactly.
non-citizens.
Do as you must, or
Non-citizens.
do as we tell you, or else you're going to meet a very unfortunate end. You can find full episodes of RSBANDB Update right here on this YouTube channel. If you found this video useful or just enjoyed it, like and subscribe, or leave a comment.